sufficient for thee. My strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, I would rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Admitting that I'm not God means I recognize three important facts of life. And with these, if you can get these down, this is maturity. I have to admit I am powerless to change the past. It hurt. And I still remember that hurt. But all the resentment in the world is not going to change your past. All the retribution that you can get is not going to change what happened.
Right. That's right.
We get in problems. We get into situations where we actually hurt ourselves and we hurt other people. When we get to a point where we just try to box everybody out, stop the situation, remember it, and don't let anybody move on. You hurt me in the past. I will never ever trust you again. I will never expose myself to the point where I can get hurt again because you hurt me. That's not a God attitude. Oh, I'm going to forgive you. I'll never forget. We've got to admit that we are powerless to change the past. And we've got to find a way through Christ to let that resentment go. It will not change anything. You can't change anything in the past. Number two is I have to admit I am powerless to control other people. I am responsible for my actions, not those of other people. All of my abilities and talents won't control their lives. Can I get an amen from the parents?
Amen.
Come on now.
Amen.
Man, I am experiencing this myself. I cannot live a saved life for my children.
Right.
I can't make them be saved. As badly as I want them saved. And boy, it makes me want to just... Why am I looking at you, Chris? It just makes me do something that's not right. I want to take some things and shove them down their throat. But I am not God. And if I get a chance, Sister Claudia, to shove it down their throats, God help me if I do it, but you know what? It's not going to change them. It's not going to control them. Even if when they come to my house, Brother Rogers, and I tell them, look, you cannot come into my house unless you're wearing a skirt. I don't say that to the boys. You can't. I don't want that makeup on. I don't want that jewelry. Not in my house. You know what I get? I get behavior modification.
Right. That's true.
But if I let them come in, guess what? That spirit coming right in with them. Right with them. And I find myself frustrated. Because I've been able to control a little part. A little bit.
All right.
It still frustrates me so good.
Amen.
And I have to admit, number three, I admit I am powerless to cope with my own harmful behaviors. I'm powerless. I want to shove it down their throat. I want to take it and tie it around their neck.
Amen.
If I tie it tight enough, maybe I can be done with it. But then I stand in judgment for that. I done killed them up. I done blow them up. But I can tell you, I struggle with it too. I know many of you do. Because there's just something in you that wants to get it done. You want to do it. You want to play God. I want to play God. I can't. Good intentions and willpower are not enough. I wish it was.
Right.
I need a source of power power that's beyond me.
Amen.
It's got to be beyond me.
Right.
I need the Spirit of God in me because He made me to need Him.
Right.
See, every one of us are made to need Jesus.
Amen. That's right.
In James 4 and 6 it says, but He giveth more grace.
Right.
Wherefore He said, God resists the proud, but gives grace unto the humble. And what is grace? Other than the power to change. The power to be fixed. Grace is the power of God that He gives me to make the changes in my life that I want to make. And more importantly, that He wants me to make. Isn't that amazing? If you don't want to make the changes, God won't give you the grace.
Right.
Why is it we never look at the reverse? And there's only one way to get grace. God only gives it to the humble. That means the ones who are not trying to play God.
That's right.
Wow. Wow. What needs changing in your life? What hurt or hang-ups or habits have you been trying to ignore or get around? You see, it's hard for most of us to admit that we have a problem. Because you know what happens when we admit we have a problem? It's humbling. It's humbling to say, I've got a problem, I've got an issue, I'm having trouble dealing with this. That shows weakness. And we don't want to show weakness. Problem is, without showing the weakness and without the humbling, there's not enough grace to make the change. It's saying, I don't have it all together as much as I'd like everybody to think I do. When you tell that to somebody, when you tell that to somebody, they're not going to be surprised. See, y'all ain't with me because that's funny. That was funny. Y'all missed it.
What?
Did you guys get that? No, you didn't get. Look, she's like, I was picking at the wallpaper. I don't know. No. I'm joking. I said, when you tell that to somebody, that you don't have it all together, when you tell that to somebody, they're not going to be surprised because they know it. And guess what? God knows it. And the travesty behind it all is you know it. You know you ain't got it all together. You know y'all can't handle this. You can't handle that. There's problems that come up because they're beyond your control. Otherwise, they're not problems. And there's so much in your life that affects you that you don't have control over. You don't. Hey, what's my biggest problem? Pastor, what's your biggest issue these days that you can't control? Our government.
Amen.
Man, in my job, in my home life, even here at the church, it's the government. I can't control those morons. I just can't as much as I want to. Well, if you want to, maybe you should vote. I vote! They say, you know, if you don't vote, then you can't complain. I voted. So I'm assuming that means I can complain. But see, we all know it. We all know it. You just need to be honest and admit it. And once we admit it, then God can begin to work on our behalf.
Okay.